You know that feeling, right? You're so close to finishing something, and then out of nowhere, all you want to do is just stop. If you've been there, you are definitely not alone. It's that nagging voice that says, you can finish it tomorrow. Well, today we're going to dive into that exact struggle and figure out how to push past it.
So, here's the big question you have to ask yourself in that moment. Are you really too tired to keep going? Or is that feeling of exhaustion actually a sign of something else? What if I told you that urge to quit isn't about being weak? What if it's actually a signal that you are right on the edge of getting it done? And that brings us to this powerful idea. Think of this as our guide for this whole explainer. It sounds so simple, right? But actually doing it? Well, that's the hard part. This is the mindset that really separates the starters from the finishers. All right, let's get one thing straight. When we talk about being tired here, we're not talking about being sleepy, needing a nap. No, this is about that mental grind, that internal voice that just starts screaming when things get tough. It's that little whisper in your ear, isn't it? And it sounds so logical. Hey, you can just finish this tomorrow. You've worked hard enough. But you know what? That reasonable sounding voice is usually the number one thing standing between starting something and actually finishing it. The best way to really wrap our heads around this internal fight is to look at some real life stories. Let's talk about a couple of people who were right there on the edge of just giving up. Okay, first up, we've got Paul. So Paul has this wobbly bookshelf, and you know how it is on a Saturday, you get that burst of energy. He thinks to himself, piece of cake, I could knock this out in an hour. Come on, we've all been there. Yeah, about that 1 hour, it quickly turned into 2. And the reality? It was not pretty. His back is aching, he's covered in dust, and the bookshelf looks even more broken than when he started. The urge to just drop everything, order a pizza, and binge watch something was massive. I mean, his brain was basically yelling at him to quit. But here's the thing. He didn't. He kept going. And finally, at 10 o'clock at night, it was done. And what he felt afterward was really interesting. Sure, he was physically wrecked, but he also had this special kind of energy, as he put it. And that's not just some fuzzy feeling. That's your brain giving you a little reward, a hit of dopamine for pushing through a tough task. It basically creates this loop that makes you more likely to finish the next time. Okay, so let's switch gears to a totally different kind of challenge. This is Emily. For her, running a 5K, well, it might as well have been a full marathon. And for the first couple of kilometers, things were going great. She was feeling good, feeling strong. And then kilometer 4 happened. She hit the wall, hard. Her legs felt like they were made of concrete. She could barely breathe, and that little voice in her head was back, screaming, just go home. You can always try again tomorrow. You're done. This was her make or break moment. So, why did she keep going? 2 reasons. 1, she could actually see the finish line. It was way off in the distance, but it was there. And 2, she understood something really important. Yeah, her legs hurt, but that pain would go away in a few minutes. The feeling of regret from giving up, that would stick around for days. All right, so we get the problem, right? We've seen people hit that wall and somehow they managed to break through it. The big question is, how? Let's talk about some actual practical things you can do the next time you feel like throwing in the towel. Okay, here's a fantastic little mind trick. It's called the 5-minute rule. Think about it. When you want to quit, the idea of finishing seems impossible. It's too big. So you trick your brain. You make a deal with yourself. Okay, I'll just do 5 more minutes. That's it. It's so small, so manageable that your brain can't really fight it. And the funny thing is, once those 5 minutes are up, you've usually built up a tiny bit of momentum, enough to say, okay, maybe just another 5. Now, this brings us to something super important. We have to understand the difference between resting and quitting. They are not the same thing. Resting is like a pit stop in a race. You pull over, you refuel, you get ready to get back on the track. Quitting? That's just leaving the car at the gas station and going home. So yeah, take a break if you need one, but don't ever mistake a pit stop for the end of the race. And here's maybe the most powerful idea of all. Persistence is a muscle. It's not some magic quality you either have or you don't. Every single time you finish something, whether it's a huge project or just, doing the dishes when you don't feel like it, you're doing a rep. You're making that persistence muscle just a little bit stronger. It's all about building the habit of finishing. Okay, there's one last huge mental trap we need to talk about, because this one gets so many of us. It's this idea that done isn't good enough.
It has to be perfect. Just look at these two mindsets side by side. The perfection mindset, it's all about a flawless result, which sounds good, but it leads to you tweaking things forever and a lot of the time never actually finishing. But the completion mindset is totally different. The goal is just to get it finished. The action is to keep moving forward. And the outcome? A real, functional, completed task.
Let's go back to Paul and his bookshelf for a second. Do you think it was a masterpiece? No way. He said himself it had a scratch on it. One of the shelves was a little bit crooked. But does it hold books? Yup. Is it functional? Totally. It's done. And that is infinitely better than a pile of perfect but unassembled wood sitting on his living room floor.
This is true for learning literally anything new. Think about learning a language. If you wait until your grammar's perfect and you have zero accent before you try to speak, guess what? You're never going to speak. The goal isn't to be flawless, it's to communicate. A messy sentence that gets your point across, that's a huge win. That's done. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's talk about the real price here. Because it's not just about having a finished project. It's about what finishing does to you, the person you become in the process. So, let's do a quick recap. What do we need to take away from all this? First, that tired feeling is usually a good sign. It means you're close. Second, use that 5-minute rule to trick yourself into keep going. Third, remember it's okay to rest, but it's not okay to quit. Fourth, done is a way better verb than perfect. And finally, remember that finishing gives you this special kind of energy that builds on itself. Done. It's just one word, 4 letters, but man, it is packed with meaning. It means strength. It means you followed through. And it comes with this deep feeling of satisfaction that honestly you just can't get any other way. And that leaves us with one final question. And this one is just for you. Thinking about Paul's bookshelf, thinking about Emily's run, what's one thing, I don't care if it's big or small, that you are going to finish today?